Welcome to week 17 of the Street Parking Vault. And this week, we are tackling the White Tiger. Program A is, on a 10-minute clock, complete a max distance run. Rest 5 minutes. And on a 7-minute clock, complete a max distance run. You will rest 3 minutes. And on a 3-minute clock, you will complete a max distance run. There will be 3 scores for this workout. The first will be your 10-minute distance, your second, the 7-minute distance, and the third, the 3-minute distance. And a good goal to shoot for is, wait for it, do your best. Welcome to week 17 of the Street Parking Vault, and this week we are tackling the White Tiger. The shift version of today's workout is accumulate 6 minutes of jog, bike, row, or alternating unweighted step-ups, rest 2 minutes, right into accumulate 4 minutes of jog, bike, row, or alternating unweighted step-ups, rest 1 minute, and then accumulate 2 minutes of jog, bike, row, or alternating unweighted step-ups. Your score for this workout will be your total time, and a good goal to shoot for is somewhere in between 15 to 17 minutes.
Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome to week 17 of the Vault. Here's what we've got for today. We're gonna be taking on White Tiger. I'm going to be doing this, the run version on the Assault Runner, and Carlene will be doing the fan bike version on the Echo bike.
Oh, here we go. A whole lot of Echo bike and running. I can't hear DH.
All right.
Oh, I hear you now. Can you hear me? Can't hear you again.
All right. I'm here.
There we go. There we go. Okay.
Good morning, Carlene.
Oh, good morning.
Ooh, okay. I'm curious. When you guys went to pick the machines, did you guys do like rock, paper, scissors or anything, or did you just volunteer to use the Echo bike?
No, it was set that he would do he was gonna run, but then it was between the Assault bike and the Echo bike, and I chose the Echo bike. So
Nice.
yeah.
Ooh. Okay, so let's talk about this workout. We got 10 minutes on the clock.
Yep. We're in
So-
our first. Looks like we're in the first 10 minutes.
Yep.
We're gonna go as far as we can on either the machine or the runner, or run.
So what's like your mindset going into this first 10-minute part?
So we went into it. I kind of had a goal of a cadence that I wanted to hit, and then from there I pushed it a little bit more than I wanted to. Danny had an aggressive goal, and he kind of nudged me to have a little bit more aggressive goal than I wanted. And then the plan was to hold something consistent for like the first 8 minutes, and then the last 2 minutes pick it up a little bit. So we'll see that as we get into it.
How are you tracking your cadence like during this?
I just am looking at the cadence.
Oh, the actual cadence metric on the
So Echo bike is gonna show cadence.
Okay.
And then Assault bike is gonna show RPMs.
Yep.
And so those are like really the same. But that's what I follow all the time. I don't follow. You could also follow watts. But cadence for me is just the number that I know. So I always just look at that number.
Nice. Are there any like with your breathing or how you're moving, does that give you any information as far as like where you're at with your cadence? Like, do you notice anything with your breathing or your movement change when your pacing starts to maybe go too fast or too slow?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just for me on that bike, the Echo bike, it just turns into more of like my legs are getting tired. I don't necessarily notice as much like if the cadence goes up. Uh, Hard is hard on that bike.
Hmm.
So, um, you just got to learn to like sit in it and learn what you can like be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I don't know if that, I mean, if that makes any more sense, but yeah, I don't notice a big difference in if I go higher cadence. I just can't maintain, I can't sustain it.
Mm.
Um, so it's hard as hard, but I'll just start noticing I slow down, which my cadence will slow down.
There you go. Yeah.
I
So
think the
yes.
key I think the key though is like if you see me if you notice like I'm riding at a decent like cadence here. I can't remember exactly what I wrote at but it doesn't look like I'm riding very hard. And when it doesn't look like you're riding hard, you're probably riding hard. If it looks like you're going hard and like lots of head bobbing and like moving around, likely you're not moving as hard as, or you're not going as fast as you could be. So it's just kind of something to watch. Like I don't have a lot of extra movement when I ride, and that helps me to stay like grounded in the bike.
Nice. There you go. Looks like some of our members have already gotten week 17 White Tiger done. Julie's got it done. Elena. Oh, Julie said not yet. She's gonna hit it tonight. Ooh. And awesome. Evie's gonna do biking. I love it. I love it. One thing I wanted to touch on is we have a cool non-run machine version, which is 10-minute clock still, but you're gonna do max reps, alternating ruck step up, and then rest 5 minutes, and then you have 7 minutes, rest 3 minutes, and then 3 minutes. But it's all rucking. So do you have any tips for that one, Carly?
Yeah, I did a workout similar to this, but it wasn't like 10 minutes. But the biggest thing is to just really work on like staying at a pace that you can maintain. Trying not to. What I would do is imagine that I'm running, and like then I would go, okay, like if I was running, I wouldn't be stopping right now. So I need to find a pace that allows me to continue to move.
Yeah.
It can be really easy to take a lot of steps away and something like that. So just trying to focus on what's a pace that I can hold through the entire 10 minutes rather than like 10 steps, rest, 10 steps, rest, something like that.
Yeah. Got it. So choose a pace where you can stay moving. Yep. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Are you going to redo this one?
I think I might, but I might do it with something different, not on the bike.
Okay.
I'll either like row it or I would. I was thinking about running it, but since we ran yesterday, I don't know if my body wants to run again. So
Yeah, switch it up a little bit with the rower.
yeah,
Now the rowing is cool because you have that spot where you can recover on the way in. So you can utilize that as a way to measure your rhythm or flow, cadence, whatever you want to call it. But you get a lot of power from the legs, and then it's like a little recovery. That could be a good option too if you're somebody that ran over the weekend. See how that feels on the rower.
yeah. I mean, rowing for me is actually hard because I'm seated, and I mean, I guess I'm seated on the bike too, but because I'm like in that seated position, it's harder for me to push on the rower.
Mm,
Um, so it'll be interesting to see if, if I can really push on that.
yeah, just another test.
Yeah.
Elena says she's super interested to see how this is going to work out with teams. Yeah, I have no insight into that, but I
Yeah.
can guarantee you it's gonna hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
I mean, I think that's one thing to think about too with this workout is that it could be a really, really easy workout to just use as like almost like an active recovery. Oh, Danny's starting to push. So you heard him grunt a little. And you can see us starting to like pick it up a little. So we must be getting close. Um,
Oh, there it is.
yeah. Uh, so we're both like encouraging each other. And so like that's a big thing, I think. You know, if you do this workout is if you can, like try and jump on like live with someone or do it with someone. It's super helpful to have someone else there to push you when you don't really want to push.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Like for most workouts, if you can do it with somebody, push each other, like that's what it's all about. It's so fun that way.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be more than just running together. There's always a little something spicy added. You can bet on that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, when I program team workouts, I really like to make them teamwork and not just like two people working out together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's like a big thing that I like to make it an actual teamwork thing.
For sure. All right, 10
Oh
seconds.
yeah, look at Danny. He's in the hurting.
Let's go.
But you can see like my cadence is increasing, but my body language, like my body is showing I'm not working that much harder. Here I really focus on my recovery. So I'm just telling my heart rate to slow down. I am paying a little bit of attention to what my actual heart rate is doing. But yeah, I like to just like close my eyes and just focus on breathing and just telling my heart rate to slow down. Danny will get up and walk around. But
Wow, that was awesome.
decent rest here. It should be a full rest.
How'd it go? Good. It was tough. I started a little too fast. As usual, what's new? I am very proud of myself though because I can come out hot, but I seldomly push myself to really high heart rate for a very consistent period of time. And today, I got to zone 4 and I lived there for a while.
Oh, I lived in zone 5.
Yeah. Well, you're much fitter than I. You push more than I.
I was like, no! I'm supposed to be holding his pace.
No,
Why am I up there?
I did 1.3 miles on this screen.
Danny got 1.3 on
I don't know how
the
it's
salt
calibrated.
runner.
Nice.
I did 1.32.
My timer was off by 15 seconds
Yeah.
from that clock.
Woo!
You were like 1 minute, and I was like, what do I do? I'm going off that.
What were you holding? Or like, what was your game plan going into it?
I was gonna hold 60 straight, and then Danny decided that it would be a good idea to go for the first 8 minutes and then start pushing. I probably started jumping at like 7 minutes. I got it up and was like, probably not there yet. And so I dropped down a little bit, stayed at that 60, and then at 2 minutes bumped it.
Nice.
Pushed really hard at 2 minutes. That was aggressive. But I kind of had the goal too that I wanted to get to like the top end of the goal time. So
Do you have a goal?
the top end, I was like I wanted to be 135. And then at that point I knew I was gonna get there. I was like, okay, 136 just to give it a little extra.
For me, I wanted to get 1.25 miles. So 1 plus a 400.
Yeah.
And then push for the rest, so I got 132. So
Great.
that was good. Now,
This 7
goal-
minutes is gonna be hard.
yeah, my goal for the second is, I'm gonna have, so my relationship before was, the goal was 1 1/4 on the runner. And then push for whatever extra. So now it'll be get to 1 mile and push for whatever extra. And that's gonna be really challenging. Here, when I started, I was averaging probably like 720. and then I dropped off a little bit and I pushed and I kind of fluctuated around there. I don't know that I'm gonna be able to hit another mile in 7, but I'm gonna try.
Charlene?
Yeah. I'm gonna try and stay where I was at least to start, and then see what happens. 7 minutes is gonna feel just like the 10-minute. It's because it's not a big enough drop off.
This proves how much fitter she is than I. Right now her heart rate is at 90, and I'm like struggling to get under 120.
Wow.
Right? So that's gonna be my challenge, is trying to fight that. So you got 1 more minute. Look how hers drops, and mine just keeps going up. Okay.
It's because you gotta tell your heart rate to slow down. You gotta be in control of your body.
Fine-tuned.
All right, 30 seconds. I'm gonna restart mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, out on the track. I mean, that would
Yeah.
be a great way to measure your distance for sure, Julie.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I hear you. If you're doing it with other members and friends on Zoom, yeah, it might be a little challenging with that.
Yeah, DH, are you gonna run this one or are you gonna machine it?
I'm gonna run it just because, like, I'm trying to be careful not to do so much running volume at once, but running is just something that I've struggled with for forever. And yeah, just to try it. You know, I could row, I could bike, I could do all the different machines, but I think there's just something about running that is so telling and revealing about like where your aerobic base is, and with the endurance focus coming up, I really want to be able to understand like where I'm at, like where my body is at, and even if it's like not super fast, I just want to stay on my feet and get moving a little bit more frequently.
Yeah, I think that a couple things, I think that's really important to not do too much too soon.
Yes, I agree.
I've seen a lot of my athletes do that. I
Yep.
think it's just about being smart, you know?
Yeah.
But I also think that it's important to expose yourself to that. And I think today is like a good day to do that. If you're somebody who has access to an assault runner, you know, spending some time on that is gonna help with the impact on your joints, rather than just the road. But also, you know, making sure you have some good shoes, newer shoes, in terms of like, if your shoes are like 3 years old, likely that they are not like good anymore. And that's gonna make an impact on all of that. What I'm gonna have my class do is they're gonna go out 5 minutes and then back 5 minutes, and the goal is gonna be to get past the starting line. So each time when they go out, they'll go, when they come back, they'll go try and get past the starting line.
Yeah, I hear you. That's a cool way to do it. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's answer some of these questions. My treadmill
For
is
sure.
motorized. Do you recommend starting at speed and sticking with it, or increase over time? Again, it depends where you're at and how comfortable you feel with these time durations. So Elena talked about it too. She has a motorized treadmill as well. And yeah, that's one way, but I would say see how you feel. You know, like similar to what Danny and Carlene did, where they set out for themselves like, hey, for like 6 to 8 minutes, like I'm holding it at this cadence or this tempo, speed. And then if you feel good and you feel like safe, where you can like push the dial to increase speed a little bit, absolutely go for it. Yeah. But I would suggest be clear about what you're gonna do like before you start, just so that you're not panicking in the moment and like having to like change your game plan. Try not to do that.
I think that I also have a motorized treadmill and an assault runner. But I would probably do that. I would probably have a game plan of going like on every couple minutes, increasing and just like bumping it up like 1 or 2 speeds.
Yeah.
I think is totally fine.
There you go. There you go. BB is
Uh,
asking, can we give tips for the bike? I have a hard time getting in a good flow.
Unsure what like that flow, you know what I mean, kind of means. But one thing I think about is trying to keep my arms and my legs moving consistently. Um, but I think that I think about really to actively pull with my hamstrings and make it a circular motion as opposed to just a straight push down on the bike. That that's something that I've noticed that other people struggle with is like they just want to push down on the pedals and not actually make it a circular like flow. So pulling with the hamstrings is going to be important just as much as like that push down and then pull to keep it circular.
I feel like my arms and legs aren't working together well at all. It's arms and legs, then arms and legs, etc. That's what I mean by flow.
I try to think about my arms and legs going at a fast cadence. So I'm going to think about if I'm sprinting on the bike, I think fast hands, like fast hands, and then my legs will go. So trying to think about how you would feel if you were running, you know? If I want to just jog, I'm going to kind of go a little bit slower with my arms. If I want to sprint, I'm going to pump my arms faster and my legs will follow.
Yeah, I think the big takeaway there for BB might be to maybe practice at a lower speed and see if you can get that flow that Carlene is talking about, where it doesn't feel so like broken up, like using your arms and your feet, your legs, where it feels like everything is kind of moving cyclically. And so maybe slow down the pace just a little bit so you can get familiar with what that feels like. And then as your intensity and cardio like builds up, then you can see if you can then apply that same flow to a higher speed.
Yeah, and so Danny kept barking at me. And like it was so funny because it was like just when I wanted to give up and to let my cadence go down, he's totally talking to himself. But I thought he was talking to me, and so I was like, oh gosh, I can't let go. So this is why, like, again, it's so important. It was so good for me to do it with him, even though we're on different machines.
Yeah.
This 7-minute one was hard. Mentally, it's not a very big drop off, so it didn't like cut it in half.
Right.
The 7 minutes was hard. It was almost like the last 3. The last like 2 minutes on the last one wasn't that bad. So it was 7 minutes that was hard.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh boy. I'm curious how fast your heart rate goes down now.
It goes pretty. It's oh, he almost got the mile.
Close.
Almost.
I gave too much on the first one. Let that be your lesson. I should have been happy with 1 1/4, but the ego got the best of me.
That one hurt me.
Yeah.
100.
Wow.
That one was hard, but this next one's gonna be even harder because I gotta go real hard. Really hard.
Oh man.
The whole
So now it drops off like half, right? And
Right.
so now it's like really
The rest
send
is
it.
good though. The rest is good. Like a lot of times you get into a workout and you're like, that was not enough time. Like the time is going by so fast. But here I'm like, oh gosh, I still have 1.5 minutes. The rest is good. I feel like I can get like fully recovered, which sucks.
I noticed you don't get off the bike. Would you recommend staying on it or getting off?
I don't know, sometimes it feels like my legs are like working more to get off the bike. I'd probably rather just sit. Just depends on like how your body flushes and recovers. Mine doesn't recover as well if I'm like up moving and pacing around. So it's just comfortable for me to stay. It keeps my focus too, instead of getting off. That's usually when my time clicks away fast. It's like, get off, go get on my phone, to send a text message, and then I'm like, I'm late. So,
I know what you mean by that. Yeah.
rest feels much better if I can just stay present.
30 seconds.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
Well, it went fast.
How many were you saying the rest is enough?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not for me.
All right, last 3 minutes of
6
work.
Yeah.
minutes, Danny.
Let's go.
Get
3
it.
minutes, dog. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
So I reset my monitor every time just so I'd know like exactly
Yeah.
my calories, and that's what I tracked was calories.
Nice.
You know, it was interesting. Like they're asking, you know, that I stayed on my machine, and I actually had somebody ask, like, "What do I do for the rest? Is that like full rest, or should I be like jogging?" And like, no, like take the rest. Take the
Yep.
rest so that it allows you to hit it hard. I also think that, you know, Danny mentioned that, you know, he hit the first one too hard. Like, I disagree. Like, I think that that's great. I think that he pushed and he found a point that he wouldn't have found before, and so he found kind of that he did go harder on the first one that forced him to go slower on the second one. But I mean, I would argue that he probably got fitter than if he would have just kept, you know, not really sandbag, but like kept the first one comfortable and confident in the first one, that he wouldn't he wouldn't have gained as much fitness as pushing the first one, see what's possible, and then maybe falling a little bit short on the second one. I think that's great.
Yeah. There's a lot to be gained from that experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm a big advocate of like pushing that you know, failure point, that red line point. Not every day, but you got to have a day to do that. And today's workout is a great day to challenge that, rather than just playing it safe.
This is truly one of those workouts where it's like simple, not easy. Like,
Yes.
how simple is it just to keep moving the handles, or just to keep moving your feet forward, or just to keep pulling on a rower? Like, you can do that. You're not going to fail, but it's just
Right.
a matter of how hard do you want to push.
Mhm.
That's the beauty of this workout, I feel.
Mhm.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
And this one, I'm pretty sure it was like I was trying to get it back up to where I was on the first one, and I couldn't. But like, it was fine.
20 seconds.
So you can see too, like I'm moving a little bit more just because I'm so tired. And I think that is making me go faster, but it's really not. Looks cooler, right?
Nice, guys. Well done.
Yeah. Just silence.
The prayer hands.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Week what? Week 18. Sounds like a Pokemon in the making. We're gonna up the weight today, and we're gonna hurt, and I look forward to it.
Awesome. Well, great job, Carlene. That was you
Thank
and
you.
Danny crushed that one, man. And I'm stoked to see how it goes for you on the rower, possibly. Yeah,
We'll
very
see.
cool. I just want to make sure that we touched on the shift version, which is a shorter time duration, but you got 6 minutes with 2 minutes of rest, 4 minutes, a minute rest, and then 2 minutes, and a lot of different options: jogging, rowing, alternating unweighted step ups, like just moving quick. But again, the intensity is kind of the secret sauce of this workout. So regardless of what version you go with or what time frame that you're working in, think about your intensity. Do you have an opportunity to push and to see what's possible and not to be afraid of missing the mark? Because again, there's so much to be learned from that experience. So great workout to start the week and giving us a little taste test for the endurance focus coming up.
Yeah. That
Let's
was
get
timed
into
perfectly.
let's get into this week's workout breakdown. We're looking at Tuesday's workout. Oh, does this look familiar to you guys?
Oh yeah.
So if you did Project April in the past, last year we had this tester workout, 8 unbroken sets. You have 8 alternating dumbbell farmer lunges right into 8 hang power cleans, then going back into a different style of lunging, shoulder rack lunges, and then 8 shoulder to overhead. So that's one round. You go 8, 8, 8, 8, unbroken. You set it down, and if you notice, rest as needed to keep the sets unbroken. The goal of this workout is to challenge you to hang on to those dumbbells and stay moving for all 32 reps per round. And this is a great spot for you to level up and ascend it.
Yeah, this is super cool workout. I love the aspect of like you got to hold on unbroken, but it also gives you an opportunity to challenge yourself to like push heavier. Um, and so I think I remember in the workout last year I did I went I built in my sets.
And
So
weight,
I built in weight.
love that.
And it's hard to rest long enough, but really forcing yourself to give yourself that rest so you know you can go unbroken.
Yeah. That's wow. There's your like extra challenge right there. You go heavier to start with and then keep going heavier.
Hmm.
Nice. And of
Yeah.
course, we'd encourage you, since it's Project April, use your dumbbells. Or, oh man, if you busted out the kettlebells for these, whoa,
Oof.
that's gonna be nasty.
Yeah.
Gonna be nasty. If you look at the bottom of the coach's notes, so last week we started this too with the endurance focus tests that you can find in the endurance extra programs. We have 14 tests in there. We encourage you to check them out and maybe pick 1 or 2 that you can get done this week in preparation for the endurance focus. And it'll give you some motivation and a goal to shoot for throughout the 13 weeks. And the suggestion here is, if you haven't already, to test that 400-meter run, or you also have the conversion to your bike or row, or an 800-meter. And our suggestion is to do it before you do this workout, and then make sure that you get ample recovery. We're saying at least, somewhere 10 to 15 minutes before you do this unbroken Project April tester workout. But yeah, you have that opportunity for tomorrow to level up during the workout, and then before, get in some endurance testing. You have those options there.
Yeah, I think it's talked about a lot and in these like coaches note suggestions, but like really making sure that you're putting a good effort into your test, and it allows you to make it an actual, test,
Mm-hmm.
rather than just a, like, you know, I don't know, part of the workout, an extra piece, right? Like
Yeah.
really put some focus on it. And like it says, if that's the only thing that you get done, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So usually when I do something like that, I will tell myself this is the only thing that you have to do today. Um, or I'll try and focus on this is the only thing you get to do today.
Oh
And
yeah.
are you going to go hard enough to make yourself feel good about this being the only thing that you do today?
That is definitely spoken from a place of experience for
Hmm.
sure. Because there could be times where you're doing a workout and you're like, oh, I'm not really feeling it. So like, I'm going to do XYZ after, or
Yeah.
I don't really like this workout. So I'm going to do XYZ thing before. Like, don't fall into that trap. If your goal
Yeah.
is to really understand where your baseline is with some of these distances or times, if you choose to do the time version, like really think about what that means for you as far as pushing. And I would definitely listen to Carlene. Like, tell
Yeah.
yourself, this is all I get to do today. So I want to make sure that I feel proud about my effort here.
Yeah, for sure.
Julie did the 400-meter test a few days ago. It was great. Did better than expected. See, that's
It's
something,
awesome.
that's what's awesome about these tests too, is like, if you don't put yourself out there, you wouldn't know. Like, you don't know where you're at currently, like in real time, where your baseline is. And just to
Yeah.
put yourself out there, like, that's great. That's a
Hmm.
great thing to do from time to time.
And
Awesome.
then what I think is great is that it's an opportunity to test, but it's with no expectations of
Mhm.
I should be at this point. I should, because we're going to spend the next 13 weeks building that. So wherever you're at, you're going to get better. So
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Absolutely. Cool. Let's move on to Wednesday, the last day of Project April. Man, what a month. Can't believe the month is already gone. That's crazy. But to wrap up Project April, wow, 100 alternating single arm devil press. Carlene, how are you tackling this?
full send, baby.
I
I'm
love
super
it.
excited about this. This like is
Man.
I would have probably rather seen just a regular devil's press, 100 devil's press.
Oh my.
Um, but I like the single arm where you switch. Oh, the extra challenges um, increase the reps. That's even more fun. But I'm
That's so gnarly.
this workout is one I picked that I was like, okay, I want to go live for this workout.
I
So
love it.
I'll see if I can get some people to join me.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I might be down for that one. You have the kettlebell swap option, okay? But something to keep in mind, if you're choosing to do kettlebell devil press, which is essentially like a burpee into a kettlebell snatch from the floor, stay tuned because Molly has a great tip for us that's going to be on members Instagram. And she has some really good tips about setting yourself up before you start so that you know where your hands go each time and making sure that you're getting the most out of each snatch, like using your efficiency and getting the kettlebell overhead. So we have great tips there. But anything off the top of your head, Carlene, that you can offer as a tip if somebody is choosing to do this with a single kettlebell?
I think that that's just the biggest thing is like don't try and put your hand on the handle
Yep.
for it. It'll be super aggressive. But again, yeah, like that hand placement is going to be important. And then making sure that you turn your watch around. That's the biggest pro tip is turn your watch around because you're going to shatter your watch.
No, yeah, don't do that. Or if you do post a picture, that'll be like maybe like a badge of honor you can show off online. No, don't do that. Okay, and then today's endurance test suggestion is going to be a mile run. And for this one, definitely you can swap it out. You can swap it out because look, if you're going to get after that mile, man, or the bike row equivalent, 120 calories, 88. and a 2K row, like that should lay you out. That should lay you out. So keeping that in mind, if you want to throw in, if you want to swap out the 100 double press with a mile run, this is the place to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's similar, right? Like you're
Yeah.
gonna really the 100 single arm devil's press is gonna like I would look at it as how would I run my mile, right? Look at the time frame, 7 to 12 minutes. Like it's the same
Yep.
time frame.
Yeah.
So mhm,
Very good point.
mhm.
Oh man, like pick your poison there all this week.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll into the first workout of May. We have every 2 minutes for 10 minutes. This is for Thursday. So it's 5 rounds of 12 thrusters and 12 kipping pull-ups. This is just a beautiful classic couplet.
I
Tough.
love this.
2 minutes, 12 and 12.
Yeah.
What are we thinking as far as strategy here, Carly?
Make sure you're customizing it to make it, to something that you can finish in the time frame. So if that time frame is aggressive for you to do the 12 and 12, either choose a lighter weight or don't be afraid to lower the volume there. Lower that volume to something that's doable for you to get done in that 40 seconds to a minute 10 so that you have some rest to recover.
Definitely. Yeah. I would say, 110 at the most, because that's going to compound too, which with each subsequent round. Yeah. Preceding round. Yeah. That's going to be, you're definitely going to feel it. You're definitely going to feel it. Your lungs, your legs, your pulling. Absolutely. Yeah.
It becomes a decent amount of volume too at the end.
Totally. 60 reps of each, 120 total reps altogether. Beautiful. All right. Anything there? Anything else? Moving on to Friday.
Yep.
Here we go. 20-minute AMRAP. We have a 200-meter run rolling right into 8 suitcase deadlifts on each side for a total of 16, and then 16 alternating dumbbell farmer step-ups. So this one's interesting. This one's got some unilateral aspects to it with some running and 20 minutes straight through. Yeah, that's going to be a good mover here.
Yeah, this is more of like, that 20-minute. So where we're looking at, like I'll look at workouts a lot and equate them to like a run. Like this is your 5K run. So you don't want to go out the gate super hot. That first run doesn't need to be the first, if you win the first run, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. So, trying to find a pace on the run and the suitcase deadlift is going to be important to stay controlled and steady on it. Don't try and move that super fast. That's not really the point of that movement. So, yeah.
And I would say pay attention to doing a movement like the single arm suitcase deadlift with like an elevated heart rate. Like take that second to set your back, make sure that your shoulders and hips are square so that you're not like just doing it like sloppy. Like really get that benefit of doing a single side loaded suitcase deadlift and challenging your core, challenging your position, and just like understanding like where your body is in space, and work on that there. Yeah,
for sure.
And then step ups, just get stepping, like get moving on that.
Yeah.
Program B has heavy barbell. So if you're doing program B, you got 8 reps of a heavy deadlift. But I would say same thing applies. If you're coming in hot after that run, take that second to really set your back for a strong pull. Don't do it sloppy. Don't round that back. Don't keep your core all loose because you're breathing so hard from the run. Like you got to move at a pace that allows you to really set yourself up for success on those heavy deadlifts.
For sure.
Very cool. And the suggestion for the endurance test for today, like Carly mentioned, if you're thinking about attacking it like a run, you can do a run. You can do a 5K. Get that like 20 to 30 minute time frame. And that could definitely be your workout for the day.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is that like if you look at those two workouts, if you're going to do um, the daily workout, like you don't need to do the run. Those are two time frames that are like very similar,
Mm.
and i- you you lose the intensity on one of them. So I think that really picking and choosing
Hmm.
is going to be important for uh days like that, like when there's a little bit longer. I mean, it's a little bit different when you're looking at the 400-meter run,
Sure.
um, or the machine equivalent to that. Like that's shorter. That's 90 seconds to 2.5 minutes, right? So a little bit different, but these are two of like nearly the same workouts.
Hmm.
One's with equipment and one's without equipment.
Yeah.
So to do both of them is kind of pointless.
Mm. Jody's asking for the 5K test, is it okay to use different modalities? Yeah, absolutely. I
I
mean,
think in terms of like, yeah, if you're gonna use, like, if you're gonna row, right?
yeah,
Like, not splitting it like 2,500 with the
no,
rower and 25, but yeah, for sure, like bike it or row it. That's totally an option.
definitely. Yeah. I don't suggest like splitting it up to like complete the time, the distance or the time. Like, yeah, just choose like one thing,
Yeah.
the entire 5K. Yep, would be my suggestion for sure. For sure. All right. And then the last workout of the week. We got 7 rounds, 5 toes to bar, 7 box jump overs, 9 push-ups. Beautiful, classic. Rest 3 minutes, and then you're gonna repeat it. Oof! Wow,
Yeah. Wow. I like that one.
that's gonna be long. That's gonna be
Yeah.
long.
Lots of transitions in there. So making
Mhm.
sure that you're throwing in some transitions. There's also a suggestion for like extra challenges to make it a deficit push up, which is a cool option. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
increase the range there on your push-up. Throw on a
Hmm.
vest,
Hmm.
on a ruck if you want. Well, maybe not a ruck, but yeah, you have those options as well. Body weight only could be perfect though. It could be
Yeah,
perfect for the
for
day.
sure. Yep.
And then the endurance test suggestion is going to be test number 4 with the bike or row, 30
Hmm.
cal bike. Ooh, with the rest in between, the repeat.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, so if you notice, so for the bike and rower, we have this this like additional test, which is to really gauge your ability to repeat intensity.
Hmm.
So this is a good one. This could be tricky. Or you just do the flat out, you know, send it on the rower, send it on the bike, like pick your poison there.
Hmm.
But yeah, the repeatability for this one's going to be a
You
good
know what
test.
I think for this one is I think that if I was doing it, I would look at it as like it's one and then the other. And so I wouldn't look at it as I got to do another one because I don't want to game it, especially if I'm going to test, because then I won't be able to necessarily see my progress as much. So
Mhm,
if I can just full send it on the first one and then rest 90 seconds, I know I'm not going to be fully recovered.
mhm.
Um, but I'll be able to, as the endurance focus goes on, I'll be able to see uh, how I progressed in being able to recover more. Um,
Mm.
so like my goal would be that my first one wouldn't be faster, but that my second one would be better
Oh,
at the end
interesting.
of the
Yeah.
3 months. Yeah.
Like that would be the ideal goal.
That would be the goal. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll see where, like, how low I'm at for the second one. And
Hmm.
then my goal would be that my second one gets faster, or that I learn, right? And that maybe I drop the first one down a little bit to make the second
Totally.
one faster. So,
Totally. And if you just look at the way that this test is designed, that 90-second rest in between, by design, it's going to put you into a deficit where you're resting less than the work that you do, because
Yeah.
like to row 500 in 90 seconds, like that's like insane, or like 30
Aggressive.
calories, right? So or 22. So you have to think about that. You have to think about it. But I agree. I think when you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of the genius of this workout, is like treat it as separate. Round one is separate than round two, and just see where you're at. Just like go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Any other notes, Carlene, you could think of?
I don't think so.
Cool. All right. Well,
Have fun with this one, you guys.
Yeah, this week is stacked with a lot of great workouts. Again, we're going to encourage you guys to choose 1 or 2 tests that you can get after, and log it. Take notes.
Make sure you log
it. Put notes in there, like how it felt, how you feel. If you noticed anything that like stood out to you, things that you want to improve on personally throughout the endurance focus, like use this time before we kick off the first endurance workout on May 7th. But this is a great opportunity, a great week to put yourself out there and just see what's possible, and then have something to shoot for the next 13 weeks throughout the endurance focus. It's going to be great. Cool. All right. Thanks, Carlene.
All right.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Bye, you guys.